We navigate a world we assume is built on a shared reality, yet some individuals walk among us who find pleasure in sowing discord and chaos. Consider the unsettling truth. You could be sharing your life with someone, trusting them implicitly, only to discover they are the hidden source of your turmoil. Today, we delve into a subject as fascinating as it is frightening, recognizing the signs that you are dealing with a truly malevolent person. Whether a colleague, a friend, or even a family member, these individuals can be masters of deception, cloaking their true nature behind a veil of charm and charisma. Our exploration into this darker side of human behavior is not born of mere curiosity. Understanding these signs can be life-altering. The ancient Stoics believed in the power of perception and the profound importance of a life guided by reason and virtue. By identifying and understanding these toxic traits, we can protect our peace of mind and cultivate healthier relationships, staying true to the Stoic principles of wisdom and self-control. Stay with us as we uncover 5 telltale signs of a destructive personality. By the end of this exploration, you will not only be better equipped to spot these behaviors, but will also understand the practical wisdom needed to safeguard your mental and emotional well-being. If you find value in this pursuit of clarity, we invite you to subscribe and join our community as we embark on this journey of self-awareness and resilience together. The first and most disarming sign often appears not as a warning, but as a brilliant light, an irresistible charm and charisma. It is crucial to remember that appearances can be profoundly deceiving. These individuals possess a unique ability to illuminate a room, making everyone feel seen, special, and valued. They know the precise words to make you feel as if you've discovered a kindred spirit. At first glance, they seem perfect, witty, engaging, and deeply interested in your life. It is easy to be swept away, to believe you have found someone truly exceptional. However, the Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface, to seek truth through rational thought and careful observation. Over time, you may begin to notice subtle cracks in this polished facade. Perhaps they possess an insatiable need to be the center of attention, consistently overshadowing others. They might talk over you, interrupt your stories, or even subtly belittle you in front of an audience. These are not mere quirks of an extroverted personality. They are red flags. A Stoic would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial thrill of their charisma. Imagine yourself at a social gathering where this person is the life of the party, captivating everyone with their stories. Initially, it feels exhilarating to be in their orbit. But as the evening wears on, you realize they dominate every conversation, steering all topics back to themselves. When you attempt to share something of your own, they deftly redirect the focus. It is here that the Stoic principle of apatheia, a state of inner calm, undisturbed by external forces, becomes invaluable. By remaining emotionally balanced, you can see through the charming performance and recognize the self-centered nature hidden beneath. Pay close attention as well to how they react when things do not go their way. A genuinely kind person handles disappointment with grace and understanding, but someone merely playing a role to win your trust may become quickly angered or defensive, lashing out or manipulating the situation to regain control. According to Stoic wisdom, such reactions are clear indicators of a character lacking in virtue. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, anger and manipulation are not the traits of a rational soul. The key is to grant yourself time and trust your instincts. As Epictetus taught, we must carefully evaluate the character of those we allow into our inner circle. If someone seems too good to be true, allow yourself the space to observe their actions over time. Notice how they treat others, especially when they believe no one is watching. True character is revealed not in performance, but in private moments. Once the initial brilliance of their charm begins to fade, you may notice something far more chilling: a profound lack of empathy. Empathy is the sacred thread that connects us, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It is what allows us to offer support, to build meaningful relationships, and to feel a part of the human family. Yet, some individuals seem to operate from a place of complete emotional detachment. They are indifferent to how their words or actions affect others, an indifference that can have a devastating impact. The Stoics held compassion and understanding as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius wrote of the interconnectedness of humanity, urging us to see the well-being of others as inseparable from our own. Therefore, when we encounter someone who shows a blatant disregard for the feelings of others, it is a grave warning. Imagine confiding in a friend, sharing something deeply personal in a moment of vulnerability. Instead of offering comfort, they dismiss your feelings or, worse, mock you for them. This emotional void can leave you feeling utterly isolated and misunderstood. It is not just an absence of support in difficult times, it is a failure to share in your joy. A person without empathy will not celebrate your successes. They may even seek to undermine them or claim your achievements as their own. This behavior extends beyond personal relationships. Consider a boss who drives their employees to the breaking point, showing no concern for their well-being. They might demand grueling hours, ignore requests for time off, or publicly humiliate people under the guise of feedback. This creates a toxic environment of stress and devaluation. In such situations, the Stoics would advise us to protect our inner peace and integrity, recognizing that another's lack of empathy is a reflection of their character, not a measure of our worth. This emotional emptiness can lead to even more sinister behaviors. Those who cannot empathize are capable of great cruelty without a flicker of guilt or remorse. They can lie, cheat, or inflict harm without a second thought for the pain they cause. The philosopher Seneca emphasized that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. A lack of empathy is a fundamental disconnection from this ideal. This trait also reveals itself in small, daily interactions. Constantly interrupting others, showing no interest in their lives, or failing to offer help when it is clearly needed. These may seem like minor annoyances at first, but together they form a pattern that reveals a deep and troubling issue. If you find yourself dealing with such a person, it is vital to set boundaries to protect your own emotional health. The Stoics teach the importance of preserving our own tranquility, refusing to let the negativity of others disturb our peace. From this emotional void, a more active and insidious trait often emerges: a mastery of manipulation. To manipulate is to use deceit and cunning to control or influence another for personal gain. It is a subtle, corrosive behavior that can leave its target feeling confused, powerless, and doubtful of their own reality. Manipulators are skilled at twisting situations and bending your will to suit their agenda. From a Stoic perspective, this is a direct assault on clarity of thought. The Stoics valued the ability to see things as they truly are, to ground perception in reality, and remain steadfast in principle. A manipulator seeks to cloud your perception and distort your world, making it impossible to hold on to these ideals. A common tactic is gaslighting, where they systematically make you doubt your own memory or sanity. They will deny events ever happened or twist your words to make you feel you are at fault. If you confront them about something hurtful they said, they may turn the tables, accusing you of being overly sensitive or misremembering. This erodes your confidence, leaving you dependent on their version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim, using guilt to coerce you into doing their bidding. They may constantly complain about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help, yet they are never there for you in return. They use phrases like, "If you truly cared, you would do this for me," making you feel a sense of obligation. Epictetus taught us to understand what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control the emotions of others, only our response to them. They might also use flattery, showering you with compliments to make you feel special. But you may notice this praise comes with strings attached, appearing only when they want something from you. This creates a feeling that you owe them, that you must constantly earn their approval. The Stoics would remind us that true self-worth comes from within, not from the fleeting validation of others. Manipulation can also take the form of isolation. They may try to cut you off from friends and family, claiming that they are the only one who truly understands you. This tactic makes you more reliant on them for support, and thus easier to control. Recognizing manipulation can be difficult, especially when you care for the person involved. But the Stoics teach us to be vigilant. Take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Are they consistently prioritizing their own needs? Do they make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself? It is essential to set firm boundaries. Communicate clearly what you will and will not tolerate. Remember, while you cannot control how others behave, you can always control how you respond. Where manipulation is the subtle art of influence, its counterpart is the iron fist of control. This behavior goes far beyond mere preference. It is a relentless drive to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving no room for your own autonomy. Controlling individuals often disguise their actions as care or concern, but beneath the surface, it is purely about power. For the Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-mastery above all, such behavior is fundamentally opposed to a virtuous life. This need for control can manifest in many ways. A friend might insist on choosing every activity, consistently overriding your own opinions with phrases like, "I know what's best," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." In a relationship, this can become far more dangerous. A partner might monitor your phone, demand constant updates on your whereabouts, or dictate who you are allowed to see. This surveillance creates a prison of anxiety, forcing you to walk on eggshells to avoid conflict. Epictetus taught the importance of guarding one's inner freedom, regardless of external pressures. Control often extends to finances. A partner or family member might seize control of all money, keeping you financially dependent and stripping you of your independence. They might justify this by saying, "You're not good with finances," or "It's just easier this way." The Stoics, who believed in self-sufficiency, would view this as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another tactic is isolation. A controlling person will try to sever your ties to friends and family, claiming they are the only one who truly cares for you. They will criticize your loved ones until you find yourself alone, relying solely on them for companionship. This is a direct attack on the Stoic recognition that we are social beings who thrive in a supportive community. Often, controlling individuals use threats and intimidation to maintain their power. They might threaten to leave you, harm themselves, or even hurt you if you do not comply. This creates an environment of fear that makes it impossible to think clearly. Seneca taught that we should face our fears and not allow others to intimidate us into submission. It is crucial to recognize that controlling behavior is a fundamental violation of your personal freedom. If you are dealing with such a person, you must set firm boundaries and assert your independence. Communicate your limits clearly and do not be afraid to seek support. The Stoics teach us that we are the sole masters of our own reactions and decisions. By staying grounded in this principle, we can protect ourselves and live more authentic, fulfilling lives. The final cornerstone of this destructive character is a fundamental detachment from reality itself, pathological lying. This goes far beyond the occasional white lie. Pathological liars deceive constantly and compulsively, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to serve their own needs, eroding trust and creating a tangled web of deceit. For the Stoics, truth and integrity were paramount. They believed a virtuous life was grounded in honesty, and that deceit was a betrayal of one's own character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with truth and reason. A pathological liar lives in direct opposition to this principle, constructing a false reality that benefits only them. This dishonesty can begin with small embellishments to make themselves seem more interesting, but it quickly escalates to cover up mistakes or manipulate others. They might claim accomplishments they never earned or invent stories about their past to gain sympathy. In the workplace, they might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions, or spread false rumors to sabotage colleagues, creating a toxic environment where no one knows who to believe. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own integrity, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of others. In personal relationships, this behavior is even more destructive. Being with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings can make you feel insecure, anxious, and forever questioning your own perceptions. You begin to doubt your memory and second-guess your instincts, which is precisely the liar's goal. They thrive on the confusion and instability they create, as it keeps you off balance and under their control. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and we must not allow the deceit of others to disturb our inner tranquility. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it is often difficult to detect at first. These individuals can be incredibly convincing, telling their stories with such confidence and detail that it is hard not to believe them. They masterfully mix truth with falsehood, making it even more challenging to discern what is real. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance becomes a vital tool. We must remain observant and critical, seeking truth not at face value, but through careful consideration and evidence. By holding fast to our own integrity and clarity of mind, we can navigate the distorted realities created by others and protect the sanctity of our own truth. Observe someone closely when you catch them in a lie. How do they react? Do they grow defensive, perhaps aggressive? Do they attempt to turn the tables, shifting the blame onto you? Or do they weave a plausible explanation, one that seems to make sense, yet is merely another layer of deceit? A person of integrity will admit their mistake and strive to correct it. A pathological liar, however, will double down, spinning an even more intricate web of falsehoods. In such moments, Stoic wisdom counsels us to remain calm and rational, to see the behavior for what it is without allowing it to provoke us. Consider, too, the long-term corrosion of pathological lying. Over time, it erodes the very foundation of trust upon which any relationship is built. And once broken, trust is incredibly difficult to rebuild. You may find yourself trapped in a state of constant suspicion, forever questioning the truth. This is the toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics, in their pursuit of virtue, championed strong, honest relationships, those founded on mutual respect and understanding. When confronted with a pathological liar, you face a choice. Is it worth trying to rebuild what has been broken, or is it healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence? So, how can you shield yourself from such harmful behavior while preserving your own peace and integrity? The answer lies in one of the most crucial skills you can develop: setting boundaries. Boundaries are the lines we draw to define what we will and will not accept in our relationships. For the Stoics, who valued personal integrity and inner tranquility above all, this practice was fundamental to a virtuous and tranquil life. First, understand that setting boundaries is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-respect, a way of ensuring that others treat you with the dignity you afford yourself. By establishing clear boundaries, you not only protect yourself, but also foster healthier, more honest interactions. When setting these boundaries, clarity is paramount. You must be specific about which behaviors are intolerable and communicate this with calm assertiveness. For instance, to a friend who frequently belittles you, you might say, "I value our friendship, but I will not tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully. If this continues, I will need to create distance between us." This direct approach, rooted in Stoic principles, leaves no room for misinterpretation and fosters the very order and respect that healthy relationships require. Beyond clarity, there must be consistency. It is not enough to state a boundary once and expect it to be honored. You must enforce it consistently, even when it feels uncomfortable or difficult. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus spoke at length on discipline and perseverance. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you teach others how to treat you and affirm your own self-respect. If someone repeatedly violates your boundaries, it is a clear signal that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may be time to reassess the relationship. Remember, this is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. As relationships evolve, so too must your boundaries. In a professional setting, you might need to set limits around your availability to prevent burnout, telling a supervisor, "I am dedicated to this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." This aligns with the Stoic ideal of balancing our duties without overextending ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. Of course, one of the greatest challenges is navigating the resistance you will inevitably encounter. Those accustomed to getting their way, especially the manipulative or controlling, may react with anger, guilt-tripping, or attempts to undermine your confidence. Here, the Stoics teach us to remain steadfast. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, we must maintain our composure, unmoved by the negative emotions of others. When you meet resistance, stand firm, reminding yourself that your boundaries are essential for your well-being. In some cases, this steadfastness will lead to difficult decisions. You may need to distance yourself from certain individuals, or even end relationships that have become toxic. This can be a painful yet necessary act of self-preservation. A Stoic would remind you that your primary duty is to your own virtue and well-being. Seneca wisely cautioned us to choose our companions with care, for the company we keep profoundly shapes our character and happiness. By removing yourself from those who consistently disrespect your boundaries, you make a powerful statement about your self-worth. During this process, do not hesitate to seek support. Speak with trusted friends, family, or a therapist. Sharing your struggles can provide valuable perspective and strengthen your resolve. The Stoics, for all their focus on the self, valued community. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on our interconnectedness and the necessity of mutual support. By leaning on your network, you can find the strength to maintain your boundaries. Finally, remember that self-care is the bedrock upon which strong boundaries are built. Take time for yourself, engage in activities that bring you joy, and nurture your physical and mental health. Epictetus taught that we must tend to our own well-being first, so that we may better serve others and fulfill our duties. Prioritizing self-care reinforces the message that you are worthy of protection. Ultimately, setting boundaries is an expression of self-respect and self-love. It is a recognition of your own value. As the Stoics taught, our worth is not granted by others, but forged through our own integrity and actions. By setting and maintaining boundaries, you live in accordance with these principles, fostering a life of peace, virtue, and resilience. Your peace of mind is worth protecting. Setting boundaries is not merely a defense. It is a declaration of your self-worth and your commitment to a virtuous life. Thank you for joining us on this reflection. If you found these insights valuable, we invite you to explore more of our work. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and live with integrity.